Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey. And today these are the two netted choker style necklaces that I will be making. Most of the components came from the two treasure bags that just recently came out. Those are, of course, the Amber and Aqua right here and the Sapphire and Champagne right here. And if you are interested in the treasure bags, and I definitely think that you should be, I will have all the information in the description box below. Just keep in mind that she does not have a monthly subscription. What she does have is a notification list, and you want to get signed up for that. A couple days before she releases her treasure bag, she sends out an email giving the exact time when they will be released, and that way you will know and you can be one of the first ones to get it. When she does release them, they sell out very quickly. So if you would like to see how these necklaces came about, then stay tuned. I'm going to start with the tools that I will be using. I have two sets of chain nose pliers, one set of cutters, one size 10 beading needle, and I will also be using my thread zap too. And I want to briefly mention my tool set. It is the Casual Comfort tool set, and as the name suggests, it is incredibly comfortable to use. It is very high quality, very well made, and the biggest thing for me is the size. A lot of times, for whatever reason, jewelry making tools will be made a little bit smaller like this, and they certainly function, but as you can see, they have larger grips and they just seem to be made for adult size hands. Ever since I found this jewelry set, I really just can't imagine using anything else. So I will have this tool set linked down below, along with everything else I use in the video that did not come from the treasure bags. I am also using 8-pound Fireline in the color Crystal, which is this white color. And I usually get the 125 yards just because I go through it so quickly. And I will also link below the opening video I did for the treasure bags, and it will have a detailed description of all the beads that came from both bags. From my own stash, I will be using 11O seed beads, and these are check glass seed beads in the color Metallic Rose Gold. I received both of the treasure bags, both the Sapphire and Champagne and the Amber and Aqua, and I already made this necklace using the Sapphire and Champagne treasure bag. And I wanted to try to make some sort of netting necklace, and I want to show you the inspiration. I made these netted Christmas ornaments several months ago now, before this past Christmas season, and I just really enjoyed making them, and I was just thinking, somehow to make this type of thing into a necklace. And as you saw in the opening, here is the one that I already have made before this video, and I just absolutely love the way it came out. It's more of a choker style necklace, and I'm honestly thinking about maybe adding like a 2-inch extender chain on this if you wanted to make it like a little bit longer. I just think this turned out so nice. So I'm going to be making this necklace with the other treasure bag, the Amber and Aqua. And much like the netting on the ornament, the netting in this necklace is very repetitive. So we'll make the beginning of it and then we'll meet back up at the end. I already have my needle threaded, and I probably have 4 or 5 feet here, and you will most definitely need more thread. So unless you want to thread your needle with, 15, 20 feet of thread, which I don't recommend, you will definitely need to add more thread. And another thing about this necklace, it is very seed bead heavy. Now, it definitely highlights those drop beads, those round crystal beads, the elongated bicones. It highlights the extra beads, but there are quite a few seed beads. So I actually went out and bought a couple extra. This is what I had in my stash here and what I poured out. And just to make sure I had enough, I went and got some extra. I just remember making the other one. So you want to make sure you have enough of whatever color of seed bead you choose to make it all the way around. So I'm going to start by picking up 10 seed beads and pushing them all the way to the end. And I'm going to go back through all 10 of the seed beads and pull it through. And you only need to have enough of a tail to make a knot, which I'm going to make right now. And just a regular knot like you're tying your shoes, over, under, and go again. And sometimes, just to make sure the knot is pretty snug, I'll hold the tail or hold one end of the knot with my chain nose pliers, and I'll kind of pull it just to make it a little bit extra. And now I'm going to go in with my cutters pretty close and cut off that tail. And I'm going to go in with that thread zap, push the button, and melt down that nub a little bit. And I don't want to be coming out where the knot is, so I'm going to go over one or two, I'm going to go over two and pull it through. And here's the next group I'm going to pick up. I have 3 11-0s, one of the bicones, and then 9 11-0s. I'm going to push this down. And this I'm just going to push down for right now and leave it there. Then I'm going to pick up the drop bead and 3 more 11-0s. And once I push them to the top, I'm going to bypass those 3 11-0s and go back up the drop bead and go back through just that first 11-0 on the other side. And then pull it all the way up. And you might have to kind of maneuver those 3 because you want them to kind of sit in a triangle. So you want it to be kind of snug. Just like that. And now I pick up 7 more 11-0s. And on this piece, I'm going to go back up the last 11-0 before the bicone, go up the bicone, and then go out the seed bead that's on the top. Go through just that first one. And then pull it through. And then I'm going to pick up 5 more. On here, you have your original circle. Okay, you have the 3 that you added down here. But you have your original circle. So where you're going to connect it, you're going to start where you added those 3 right here, and you're going to skip 2. So it's going to be 1, 2, and you're going to go through that third one right there. So it's going to be just like that. So from those 3 that you added, you go to that right at the point where they connect, then you skip 2, and you connect this to the next one, that third one. And it looks like that. I'll pick up 6 more. And now you're going to go to those 5 you just added, and you're going to skip the first 2 in those ones you just added. So 1, 2, and then you're going to connect it to that third one right there, just like that. And on this one, you have to be careful because when you start to pull it through, since that's a connection that you just added, it's going to make it a little loose sometimes. So when I get to this point right here, sometimes I like to tug on the top of that loop just so that last connection is nice and snug. And then I'll pull that one just like that. That way the whole connection point is snug. And here is the point, now that we have the base of it established, where it starts to get very repetitive. So here's the next part. You have 3 11-0s, bicone, 4 11-0s. I'm going to push it down a little. So down here, you have the point where you have the 11-0 coming out. And then when you start on this line that's on this side, you're going to skip the first 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to go through the next one, just like that. And now is when you're going to start seeing the netting. So I picked up 4 more 11-0s, and now I picked up the cuboid and then 3 more. So when you get to the part that's dangling at the bottom, I think it's pretty to kind of go every other one. I've got a long one, and then the next one is short, so every other one. So right like this, push it down. And once you get it up to the top, I'm going to skip those 3 seed beads, go back through the cuboid bead, and back through the first 11-0 going through it. Then pull it through. And like I said, for each one of these, it usually comes through kind of janky, so you just have to move it a little bit. So just like that. And I pick up 7 more, go through the last 11-0, through the bicone, through the 11-0 on top. Pull it through, just like that. Pick up 5 more. And this is where you're going to go up to the point where those 2 connect, right there, this line from the bicone that you're coming out of, the point where it connects. Then you're going to skip the next 2 and go through the third one, just like that. Pick up 6 more, and you're going right here to the point where the 5 you just added connect, and then you are skipping 2, 1, 2, and going through the third one. And like I said, this is the one that tends to come loose. You can see it's coming loose up there a little bit. So usually when I get to this point right here, I pull that previous one just so that previous one is connected a little more snug. Then I pull this one. This last one that we just connected is the exact same thing that you repeat over and over and over again, just changing the one that's dangling off the bottom. But we'll go through one more. So I pick up the next set. We have 3, then the bicone, then 4. Then down here, we're going to go through the middle one, just like that. Pull it through. You can see it's the next part of that net. So I have the next one. We have 4 11-ohs, the drop bead, and then 3, just like that. And back up here, I'm going to skip those 11-ohs, go back up through the drop bead, and then through the first 11-oh. And then again, pull it snug, kind of adjust those in order, pick up 7 more, go through the 11-oh on either side of the bicone. So the 11-oh, go through the bicone, and then go through the 11-oh. And again, you're starting to see the netting. So coming out the top here, pick up 5 more. Once you get to that bead where it connects, you're right there. Then you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then go in the third one. Just like that. There we go. The idea across the top is you're going to have 3 11-ohs in between each section. So 3 right there, and then there's kind of a little space, not really, but then you have 3 more. So on top of each one, you're going to have 3 in between. Pick up 6 more, and then you're going to the point where those last 5 connected. So right there is where it connected. You're going to skip 2 and go into that third one. Just like that. And I'll say it again for good measure. This is the one that usually comes a little loose. So when you get that up there, just kind of pull that one on the end a little snug. Pull that. So it becomes nice and snug at the top. And those last 2, like I said, is exactly how you add every single one. And the only thing that you change is alternating the way that it drops at the bottom. And then you can see that's what it looks like when you're alternating it. And across the top, you can also see each section has those 3 seed beads across the top. So at this point, again, it is repetitive. You're doing the same thing. And the way I'm doing it is I'm going to use every single one of the bicones that came in this strand. And that's the wonderful thing about GGC's treasure bags. Her strands are nice, full strands. So I'm going to keep going until I run out of these bicone beads. And we will meet back up at the end to put on the clasp. All right, so here it is. And as I stated when I held up just the first 3 sections, every single one is put on the exact same way. The only difference is alternating the one on the end all the way across. So now I am here on this very last one. And what's really cool, I've of course used all of these elongated bicones, and because this treasure bag comes with so many full strands, I have this much left of the ones here on the end. So this, I just can't say enough for these treasure bags and what comes in them. But right here, I am coming out at the top of the last one. So I'm going to pick up 5 11-ohs and go through that one here at the top, skipping those 3 that go across the top. Pull it snug, and I picked up 6 more, and these are the last beads that I'm going to be adding. So again, from the point where I'm coming out here, I'm going to skip the next 2 beads and go into that one right there. Pull it down, and because that always comes a little loose, I pull this one right here to make it tighter, and then pull it down. So now we have that part right there that's kind of bumping out a little bit. So now here is how I'm going to close it off. So now I'm coming out right here, and the first thing I'm going to do is follow that thread path down, just like that, and go down. And now I'm going to go back through all of the 11-oh, the bicone, and the 11-oh at the bottom. And here's where I'm going to start going through a lot of these just to kind of reinforce it and make this corner here where the clasp is going to be a little bit stronger. So I'm going to put one knot right here where I came out. So I pull that through where I make a loop, put it through the loop. All right, and now I want to make sure my thread is going through the correct spot so that it does make a knot. Just like that, and pull it snug. And from here, I'm going to continue down, go through the drop bead around those 3 11-0s at the end and come back up. And I'm going to go back up in the other direction, just like that. And something you can keep in mind, you can reinforce this. You don't have to follow this exact path to reinforce unless you just kind of want to, but you can certainly go around a number of different ways to add a little more security to that point on the end. All right, and now I'm coming out right here, so I'm going to go up this 11-0 bicone 11-0, and I'm going to come up this path here, right up here at the top. I'm going to go through the 11-0 where those two sections meet, and now I'm going to go this way, just like that. So I'm coming out here on top, and because I'm right-handed, I'm going to flip it. And now I'm going to make my way this way over to that corner again. And now I'm going to go down. And this time I'm going to go back through over here, back down like this. And now I'm going to take it and go right back up, just like that. And when you pull that snug, that should go right down. You can't see it. And I'm going to flip it again because now I'm on the outside. And I'm going to go around where this is one last time. Go back through the 3 at the top, back down the 1 in the middle, back down the 2 going to my right like this. And then here's where I'm going to make the knot. So I'll just go down 2 beads right here, and I'm going to make a knot. Go through, put the needle through the loop, and I just want to make sure it's lined up and pull it snug. And I can't stress this enough. There's no right way to reinforce it. So however you want to go through the pattern to kind of reinforce this corner, you can do that. I just want to emphasize that because there are so many beads, it's almost kind of a collar necklace. You want to make sure you don't just have one thread path through this part here at the end. You want to go through here a couple times to make it pretty strong. And for a knot, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to go in with my cutters, cut the thread, get my thread zap, and kind of burn that edge down. And here is the pattern. I just think this is beautiful. All right, so now we're going to put on the clasp. And for this one, I'm going to put a 2.5-inch extender on it. And this is the chain that came in the treasure bag, one of the chains. Of course, it came with 2 chains, but I'm using the double link chain. On the one that I already made, I don't have an extender. I just have a clasp on some jump rings. So you certainly don't have to put an extender on there. So for the people who might need a larger size, putting on an extender is really good because you also don't have to use the extender. It can kind of hang off the back of it really nicely, or if you need that extra space, you can use it as extra part of the necklace. All right, so I have a 6mm jump ring. I'm going to open it, put it through one side, put the clasp on, and on the other side, I have a larger jump ring. I'm going to connect right here, and then I'm going to switch hands, and before I close it, I'm going to add on the extender. Just put on that chain, close it, and I'm going to take another jump ring the same size, open it, and put it on the other side of that extender, just like that. And of course, you could also add a charm, or put a bead or something dangling off of it if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it very simple, just like that. So now when you connect it, you can connect it right here if you needed to, or at the larger point, just like that. All right, so this is now finished. I am going to set them both up on the display so we can see them better. All right, so here they are, and I'm so happy. I love how these came out. I think they are absolutely beautiful, and they just make me very excited to see. And it's one of the most amazing things about the treasure bags is how many just full strands of beads that come in these treasure bags, so designs like these are possible. And of course, in this one right here, I did put the 2-inch extender, and I left the clasp with the extender in it, just like this. And you can see this one here, it does not have that extender, so you could make it very easily either way if you needed just a little bit more length to it. So of course you can see with that extender, it hangs just a little bit lower, but it still hangs really nicely, just like it should. So either way looks amazing. So once again, if you are interested in the treasure bags, I will have all the information in the description box below. You definitely want to go get signed up for her notification list, because once she releases her treasure bags, they sell out very quickly. So you definitely want to be notified when they are coming. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos just like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so kind, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.